What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy, and here's my next episode of Joe Winko Talk. Now, this is going to be a funny episode of Joe Winko Talk. It is going to be a bit inappropriate, but it's going to be a funny episode of Joe Winko Talk. Okay, so this is going to be about a news story from 2010. It was on the national news. It's funny that something like this would make national news, but I understand why it would because it's so hilarious. Now, this happened in Florida with a woman's driver's license. Like, she went to get her driver's license renewed, and apparently they did make a mistake on her driver's license. You know how the driver's license has your address on it, like where you live and everything? Well, apparently the DMV she went to, they made a printing error on her driver's license, and let me just show it to you right now and let you I'll see if you guys can figure out if you can spot the error on her driver's license. Okay, there it is. When you see it. Okay, so the driver's license said that she lives on Eat Ass Street, and I thought it was funny. I remember I first saw that on the news way back when I was 14 years old, and I was cracking up laughing because it said that she lived on Eat Ass Street. But in all honesty, I don't really think that was an accident. And like her husband was talking on the news. I remember seeing that. And he was saying, there's a lot of things I don't know about this neighborhood, but I know for a fact that we don't live on Eat Ass Street. And when I saw that, I was cracking up laughing. That's kind of messed up. But I honestly do not think that was an accident. I think that someone at the DMV was probably trying to be funny, or probably when she walked in, they were probably like a pervert or something, and they were trying to catch her attention. So they wrote that she lives on Eat Ass Street, and that's how they made that error on her driver's license. Or someone was just trying to be an asshole and wrote Eat Ass Street on her driver's license. That's how I thought it was. Because, some people who work at DMVs can be assholes. Like this one DMV in Wisconsin, there's this fat bitch who works there, and she's kind of a bitch, and she's an asshole. I could totally see her doing something like that, too. Writing that you live on Eat Ass Street on her license. But, however, looking back on this made me think of a true spelling error that I have made. So, way back during my freshman year of high school, I went to a normal high school, but halfway through I was taken out and put in an alternative high school for people with autism and ADHD and the issues I have. I was put in an alternative high school where I did much better and where things were much, much simpler. But at my real high school, it was really difficult, and I didn't like it at all because it was too stressful and overwhelming. And I was doing really bad in my classes at my new high school. Plus, I didn't even have any friends at my new high school, so that even made it worse, except for my friend Rufus, who I talked about in one of my old episodes of Joe Winko Talk, my freshman bromance episode of Joe Winko Talk. I'll have a link or annotation to that somewhere. However, there was one class that I was not doing good in, and it was journalism. And journalism was actually really rough. I couldn't do it at all because they said you have to write an article about this, you have to interview these people, and you have to do this. And me interviewing people, a person with autism interviewing people, that would not be good. And but like you had to do all this yourself and everything. They didn't tell you who to go to at all, and it was so stressful and so overwhelming. And what ended up happening was I was behind in all my classes. I wasn't doing good at my normal high school. What ended up happening was I was really behind in journalism, and I was at the border of failing. And the only way for me to bring my grade up, this is what the journalism teacher told me. And I kind of think that he probably had it out for me. He told me that the only way to bring my grade up in journalism was to write an article for the school newspaper for the high school I was going to that everyone's going to read. And I was a little bit nervous about that, typing something for that everyone at my school is going to read. But I was like, it's the only way to bring my grade up. I don't want to fail any of my classes. So I did. So, like, he told me that it didn't have to be anything, it didn't necessarily have to be anything school related. It could just be, like, on anything that's important, anything that the school people should know. So, I was doing research of stuff that happens in Wisconsin. And then I saw on the news that there have been numerous bear sightings in Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure you guys know what this is going to. And, not those kind of bears. These kind of bears. But I do see the other kind of bears very often, but I don't mind at all. Just throwing that out there. But anyhow, I found an article online that said that there were a lot of bears sighted in Wisconsin. And I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe this is important because bears are very dangerous animals and people should know if they've been sighted in their area and they should be able to stay away from them or know how to report bear sightings. So I sat down and I typed it in one night because I'm really good at typing long papers because I ramble a lot in my episodes of Joe Winko Talk. You guys probably know that. But I just have to type it all out. So I was typing about bear sightings. I said, a bear has been sighted in Wisconsin. A young boy sighted a bear at the park and he escaped. Luckily, he wasn't injured at all. If you sight a bear, do not go up to it. Do this and do that and call this number to report it. So I typed up a whole article about bear sightings. However, I did not proofread it at all. And as you all know, I have autism. And this doesn't mean every person with autism, but people with autism, they tend to make spelling errors sometimes or accidentally type something wrong but not intend on typing it, and they end up typing the wrong word of what they really meant to type. I'm gonna get to that soon. But you know, the next day I walked into school, well, I turned in the paper, and then a couple weeks later, like a week later, after it was processed and put in the school newspaper, and after everyone read the school newspaper, I walked into school, and like when I walked in, like everyone kept looking at me, and I didn't know why, and I was like, why is everyone staring at me? And then one boy walked up to me and he said, "Hey Joe, a bear shit in my yard too. Isn't it rough? You should write about that next." And I was like, what? What are these people talking about? I kept walking, and then these freshman girls who were in my class, who were the popular girls, they were going like, oh my god, Joe, watch where you're walking. We don't want you tracking any bear shit into the high school hallways. And then they all started laughing at me, and I was like, what? What the heck is going on? And I kept walking through the hallways, and there was this senior girl. Her name was Valerie, and she always used to bully me. She wasn't the worst bully at the high school, but she always would, kind of like degrade me a bit. Like she didn't really understand that I have autism. She just thought that I was really stupid instead, and that got on her nerves for some reason, so she used to insult me and degrade me from time to time. And, for example, like she was in my journalism class too, and for example, like when the teacher is talking about when this paper is due, and I wanted to double check on the due date for the paper, and like right after the teacher says the due date, I would just double check and ask what's the due date was, and then everyone would get mad at me for that and tell me that I was stupid and everything, even though I was just double checking. Like, stuff like that would make her mad, and she would insult me for it. Well, not insult me, but like degrade me for it. Well, yeah, you can say insulting. Like, I was walking in the school hallways, and then the girls, she was gathered around her posse, her senior high school crowd, and they were going like, "Oh, look, it's Joe." She said this, "Oh, look, it's Joe, the dumbest boy in our high school." And then, you know what? At that point, I had enough, because enough people were saying weird stuff to me, and enough people were laughing at me that morning, and I said, "I'm not dumb, you're the one that's dumb." And she said, "Excuse me, you just said that I'm the one that's dumb? Well, at least I know how to spell, stupid ass." And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And she goes like, don't play stupid. I know you've read it in the paper. I know you've heard about it, haven't you? And I said, what? And she said, learn how to spell, dummy. Because look at this. Bear sightings is spelled S-I-G-H-T. S-H-I-T spells shitting, stupid. And then everyone turned and they all started pointing at me and laughing at me. And then I finally realized it and I was like, oh, goddamn. And then, like, I got a copy of the school newspaper and I read that article. And remember, I did not proofread it before I turned it in. I thought people were going to proofread it for me before they published it in the school article. I didn't know that I had to proofread it. And I read through it, and then even the title of the article, and I was like, how the hell did they let this get published in the high school newspaper? This is why I think the journalism teacher had it out for me. I think he was probably thinking, oh, this boy is so stupid. How about I just leave this in the school newspaper to show everyone how stupid he is? And I read the title of it, and I thought, I don't know how I made the spelling error, but I thought sightings was spelled S-H-I-T-I-N-G, but it was really S-I-G-H-T-I-N-G. And instead the title was Bear Shittings in Wisconsin. And I read through it, and like, looking back on it now, it's kind of funny, but back then, I was mortified because everyone was talking about how stupid I was, and everyone was making fun of me for making that spelling error and everything. And then I read the article, and I just got more and more embarrassed as I kept reading it, and I said, many bears have been shitted in Wisconsin. A young boy shit a bear at the park and ran away. Luckily, he escaped. If you shit a bear in Wisconsin, call this number and report any bear shittings that you see, that you shit at all. And I was just like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. And I was so humiliated, but my friend Rufus, he was telling me, oh, it's okay, Joe, it was just a mistake. It was funny, but it was just a mistake. No, I don't think you're dumb at all. Well, he didn't say it like that. He said it in a southern accent. I really miss my friend Rufus. Wonder where he is now. But, you know, I felt that really upset me and everything. And I didn't think that was fair, because the whole reason why I didn't even want to type anything to put in the school newspaper. The only reason why I typed that is so I wouldn't fail my journalism class. And it was messed up. But, you know, in all honesty, I think Valerie is the one who lives on Eat-Ass Street. Actually, to be honest with you, I think everyone I went to high school with, my normal high school, the one I spent during my freshman years, I think all those people live on Eat-Ass Street. Maybe that really wasn't a mistake on that woman's driver's license. Well, it was a mistake. Like, she doesn't live on Eat-Ass Street. What they meant to do was say that all the people in at my old high school live on Eat-Ass Street. And for all I know, they probably live on Eat-Ass Street right now. Actually, I don't want to know. Never mind. So that's basically it. That's it for this episode of Joe Winko Talk. Please tell me what you think of it. And I'm still looking for voice actors for my movie Dead Route. It's still on its way. I posted on Casting Call Club behind the voice actors and voice acting pro boards, but I'm not finding any voice actors from there. So if any of you guys know any more websites where I can find voice actors for Dead Route, please let me know. The movie has a sex scene in it, a really graphic sex scene, so I can't really cast anyone under the age of 18. No offense, I just can't do that because it has a graphic sex scene in it. But I'm looking for voice actors over the age of 18 for the two starring roles, Pat Newby and Daryl Dixon, those two characters who are going to be in Dead Route. So if you know any more websites where I can find voice actors, please let me know in the comments, and please let me know what you think of the story too. So that's basically it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. So that's it. Peace out, people.